Yoga this morning, and I'm so excited that you're here. I know some of you have asked for some additional classes. So let's get started. All right, so some things you may want for your practice today. You may want to have some blankets, and then you may also want to have a block, especially if being seated on the shins like this in rock pose is uncomfortable for you. So look around your space, find the things that you feel like you might need as far as those props, and then we'll get ready to tune in. So remember, you can tune in an easy cross-leg seated position, right? You can also be in that rock pose that you just saw me in. And we'll give it just a couple of moments before we get started, just to let other people pop in. Otherwise, just simply close your eyes and begin to arrive to the space of practice. Bring your awareness to the nasal passages and just begin to notice the flow of your breath. Feel it flowing in, flowing out. Perhaps you even have the tiniest of smiles upon the face as you allow yourself to just be seated here 5 more rounds of breathing in and out through the nose. For those of you that may just be joining us, you may want to have a blanket or a block or two for some of the postures that we'll go through inside of the Kriya. And let's bring our palms together, just start to give them a rub, creating that heat, stimulating the entire nervous system when we do this. And then bring the thumbs to the center of the chest. Again, draw the spine in and up, and as you close the eyes, take a deep breath in. At the top of the breath, hold. For those of you that may be new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me today. You can call me Akasha or Mindy Akasha. As you exhale, slowly release. My preference is Akasha. Again, deep breath in. Top of the breath, hold. And release. So as always, we'll begin our practice of Kundalini Yoga by tuning in with the Adi mantra. So take a deep breath in and release. We'll be saying Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. We'll do this 3 times together. So let's begin. Eyes closed, focus behind the brow. Deep breath in to tune in. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. 2 more times, just like that. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Ad Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Sri Gurudev Name. Ad Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Sri Gurudev Name. Ad Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Sri Gurudev Name. Deep breath in, top of the breath, hold. Lift the pelvic floor muscles, Mula Bandha, all those muscles inside the hip system, lift them up. Keep holding. And release. Beautiful. Allow the eyes to gently flutter open as you release the hands down. We'll make our way into rock pose. So if you're not familiar with Kundalini Yoga, this is what we know as Vajrasana, right? So you'll have a seat on the feet if possible. If not, you may want a blanket in between the backs of the thighs and the calf muscles, or you can have a block in between the feet to elevate the hips. This will give you a nice little pocket behind the knees. Palms will rest down on the thighs. Simply close the eyes here. Feel the tailbone descend as you feel the chin come in. So you're not dropping it, but you're drawing the chin back, ears in line with shoulders. Focus on your natural breath, in through the nose, out through the nose here. Really allowing yourself to find total relaxation in this shape. Remember, the beauty of Kundalini Yoga is you show up and you simply do your best each practice, right? So if this isn't working for you, if being on the floor doesn't work for you, you can always do what you need to do in a chair, right? So honor your body and just show up. You'll be here for a little while longer. Be mindful of the body arching forward out into the room. Keep descending the tailbone here. This will keep you in that space of ideal alignment for the spine, divine alignment for the mind. Perhaps you even want to layer the mantra Sat with the inhale, Nam with the exhale. Sat meaning truth, Nam meaning I am. Having that eyes closed, gaze beyond the brow expression, looking out into infinity. Last 40 seconds here. From here, slowly allow the eyes to flutter open. Make your way onto your seat with both legs extended out in front of you. If there's anything going on with the back, having a blanket underneath the hips to elevate the sit bones and allow the pelvic bones to spill forward will take a lot of pressure off of the back here. You could also have a roll underneath the knees of a blanket. This can be very beneficial for the hamstrings and the low back as well. You've got both legs out in front of you, the toes blossom back. If possible, you take your first two fingers and wrap them around the big toes so that you can press the pad of the thumb into the toenail. Otherwise, you find a place where you can hold that's easy for you and sustainable. Just be mindful, no pressure down on the knees here. So as you inhale, nice long spine, exhale, find either the foot hand bind or hands wherever they serve you best today. You'll drop the head, drawing again the chin in toward the chest so the back of the neck is long. Eyes are closed, focus behind the brow. And we'll do breath of fire here. So breath of fire, remember, it's a forceful exhale, passive inhale. So you press the breath out through the nose, pull it in. If you lose your rhythm, you can do this in and out of the mouth, kind of like how you see a puppy pant on a hot day. So deep breath in, full breath out. Breath of fire, let's begin. You're doing great. Stay with it. One more minute here. You really want to be having the eyes closed. Focus on that space beyond the brow. Allow energy to move throughout the entire body. Remember, if breath of fire ever gets to be too intense, you could always switch to long, deep breathing. Last 25 seconds. You're doing great. Stay with it. Deep breath in. Lift the pelvic floor muscles. Draw the navel back. Keep holding. Exhale. Slowly release the breath. Release the pose. Gently come out. We'll make our way into a knee position for camel pose. So if you know you need a little extra support, and you have a blanket, you can place that underneath the knees. If you have a mat, you could simply pull it back and have a little extra padding underneath the knees. We're going into camel pose. This can be a challenging pose sometimes for the knees, right? So set yourself up. Remember, you can also curl the toes underneath the heels. This gives a little bit of elevation. So variation one, you can simply take the fist to the low back and arch back like this, keeping the chin toward the chest. Shoulders stay down as you squeeze the elbows toward one another. If you'd like to approach more of the full shape, you'll reach back, grabbing the heels as you draw the pelvis forward, letting the head drop back. Pick which one of those you feel is most sustainable for you, right? You could also do wide hands if having fists is uncomfortable. And then dropping the head back only once you feel the shoulders engage down. We'll be here long, deep breathing, 2 minutes. Stay in the pose. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose here. This is always a beautiful pose to do in the morning. It balances out the entire endocrine system. It's one of the first poses that came to the United States. It's the ultimate heart opener, a beautiful back bend. So right now, all of those glands along the front of the spine that are part of the endocrine system are being opened and optimized because of that ability to drop the head back and focus on the breath. So stay with it. You're halfway there. If you took the variation of the full pose and you want to switch, that's absolutely fine. Last 35 seconds. You're doing great. Stay with that long, deep breath. Deep, full inhale, complete exhale. Last 15 seconds. I know it's a challenging shape. Just do your best. As you inhale, draw chin to chest. As you exhale, realign shoulders over hips. And then slowly and gently, just make your way down into rock pose for 5 breaths. Allow the tailbone to descend and just establish a neutral spine here. Notice what you're feeling in the body. Do you feel energy moving throughout the body? That can sometimes be felt as a tingling, a vibrating sensation, almost like bubbles under the skin. Just observe. Allow the eyes to slowly open. If you folded your mat the way I did, you'll want to unfold that now. We're going into shoulder stand. If shoulder stand is a challenge for you, I want you to observe first so that you can see all the different variations. So one variation, very, very beginner friendly, is we just take the legs up. We have the ankles over the hips and we stay here, right? Long, deep breathing. Other option is you lift the hips and have the legs like this, right here. Full option, shoulders walk in, legs go up, ankles over hips. So pick the variation that you feel you can sustain, because we're here for 2 minutes, right? So maybe you start in one and then you have to change. That's absolutely fine. So come on down onto your back, how you see me. Take the legs up. Pick what you are going to practice for this aspect of the Kriya, and let's begin. Whatever variation you choose, you're solidly in it now. If you took the full variation, the hands will walk down the back, the legs go up, and the focus goes onto the big toes. If you feel stable, you can also close the eyes and focus behind the brow. If you took the option where the body is in more of an angle, but the feet are still elevated, close the eyes, focus on the brow. And then the beginner option. You have the feet up, eyes are closed, focus on the brow. Long, deep breathing. So remember, with long, deep breathing, the inhalation is slightly bigger than your natural breath pattern. The exhalation is more complete. So you'll feel a little bit more of a drawing of the navel toward the spine. That will be the physical sensation, but no strain, no matter inhale or exhale, right? So you're not pushing on the inhale or pulling on the exhale. But instead, you're thinking of it as being the full expansion of the breath inside of the body. You're doing great. You only have 25 seconds left. Stay with it. Full breath in, full breath out, and then slowly make your way down, and then just lower the legs down. We'll be here 1 minute for rest. So the feet relax, palms open, close the eyes. And allow yourself to just feel all of that energy moving around and through your entire being. Last 10 seconds. From here, inhale, reach the arms overhead, point the toes, squeeze the glutes, arch away from the floor, then exhale, just relax. And do that 2 more times. We'll point the toes, squeeze the glutes, arch, 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 and then relax. And again. And as you exhale, this time bend the knees, hug them into the chest, give them a squeeze. You'll inhale forward, exhale back 5 times. On that 5th rock and roll, You'll slowly come up, and now we'll make our way up to standing. So take your time, there's no rush. Once you are up to standing, you will separate your feet so that they're a little bit wider than shoulder width. So it'll be about the length of a leg, right? Turn your right toes to the right and then slide that left heel slightly back so that you can bend the front knee and stack it over the ankle. Exactly how you see me. We're getting ready to go into archer pose. From this position, take that right arm forward. Palm will face the same direction as that long edge of the mat, right? Then you'll reach your left hand up and back behind you like you're grabbing an arrow. You'll bring it forward, and as you exhale, pull it back, right? And then slightly tip that front arm up. Back elbow needs to stay in line with the shoulder, so be mindful of lifting it up or dropping it way low, right? Gaze at that front thumb and really anchor through the feet. Imagine that you're trying to draw the feet toward one another gently. This will help you stay nice and stable. You're here for 2 minutes, so long, deep breathing. However, also the option to do breath of fire. That's what you'll hear me do. Doing great. Stay with it. Be mindful of that back arm. It tends to want to drop. If you feel you're starting to drop the front arm, just recommit. Lift it just a little bit higher. Check in with the front knee. Make sure you can see that front big toe. This will keep the knee and hip stable. You're doing great. A little less than a minute left. Stay with it. Last little bit. 10 more seconds. Deep breath in. And release. Beautifully done. You'll straighten that right leg. Pivot the feet so that they're parallel. And let's repeat the same pose, the other side. Archer pose. So turn the left toes out. Slide the right heel slightly back. You'll bend the left knee so that it's directly over the ankle. Sweep the left arm forward, wrist, elbow, shoulder alignment, palm shines out. Reach that right arm up and back like you're grabbing that imaginary arrow. You'll bring it forward and pull it back. So there's an oppositional movement here across the chest, right? The feet press into the floor, elbow stays in line with shoulder, and then front arm slightly tilts up. Gaze at that thumbnail. Again, breath of fire or long, deep breathing. Let's begin. A few alignment cues. Make sure you can see that front big toe. Draw the inner thighs toward one another, dropping the tailbone. Beautiful. And then that oppositional movement across the chest, literally like there's resistance of pulling an arrow back. Taking aim for your dreams. You're doing great. Stay with it. You only have about 30 seconds left. Full breath in, breath out, slowly release. Straighten the front leg, turn the feet in as you walk the feet back toward center. Make your way down into baby pose. So baby pose you may be more familiar with as child's pose. Have the knees rib body width apart so that there's a little bit of space. This will make it easier to breathe. You'll slowly fold over the thighs. If possible, palms go back, palms shining to the sky. If not, remember you could be on the forearms. You could also bend the elbows and support the forehead. You could use a block, a blanket, whatever you need, knowing that you're working toward third eye on the ground, palms toward the sky. Long, deep breathing here. Again, we're here for 2 minutes. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, as much as possible, and layering with the mantra Sat on the inhale, Nam on the exhale, just mentally vibrating that with all of the focus here behind the brow for Ajna chakra, that space of intuition, that place beyond the mortal mind. Observe those places where you feel a desire to hold. Baby pose is literally about effortlessness. So allow yourself to just be supported by the thighs. Let the shoulders round and relax. And truly just focus on the breath. "35 seconds here." If you took the arms back, you'll slowly bring the arms forward. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders so that you can make your way up and slowly lower down to the belly. We'll be going into bow pose. So first, just bring the elbows forward, kind of in a low sphinx pose. Option to stay right here with the hands and then simply bend the knees, right? So that the feet are up. This could be your variation of bow pose. More would be walk the elbows back. And then full pose, we reach back, grab the feet, and lift up. We'll be here for 2 minutes. So pick the one of those that you can sustain. And let's begin. So maybe you start here. Maybe walk the elbows back until they're underneath the shoulders. Long, deep breathing here. Or perhaps you take the full bow pose where you reach back, grab the feet press into hands, and breathe. Looking up or looking at the front edge of your space. It's going to be a pose where it feels challenging to breathe, so really focus on the breath. Doing great. 1 minute left. So often our mind will tell us that we can't continue, but you are so much more than your mind. You are capable of so much more than you think. So give yourself permission to explore that here. Focus on the breath And notice how the narrative of the mind changes. You'll exhale, slowly release down. Release the hands, stack them in front of the body on the earth, rest the forehead. We'll be here 1 minute, long, deep breathing. Send the breath down to the low back. Observe what you feel in the body. You'll be here 5 more breaths. Again, inhale. You can just come up on the forearms for a moment so you can observe, and then we'll go into the shape together. If possible, you'll take your hands, tuck them palms down underneath the front of the pelvis and the thighs. The chin or forehead will rest on the mat. Usually the chin is more comfortable. And we'll lift the legs up here. So you really want to work those forearms in as much as possible, and then float the legs up. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can keep the arms in front of you, chin or forehead to the floor, and just lift the legs up like this. Pick the variation that you can sustain. We're here for 1 minute with long, deep breathing. Let's begin. So you either have palms down, or you have arms forward, palms down, legs lifted, forehead down. This is locust pose. And remember with locust pose, this is a back bend where we can actually really use the glutes. That's going to really assist in lifting the legs up. So stay focused on the breath no matter what variation that you're in. You're almost out of there. You only have 15 seconds left. Maybe you even layer that mantra Sat with the inhale, Nam with the exhale, so that you can stay committed. You're doing great. Keep the legs up, full breath in. Pull Mula Bandha, hold. Exhale, slowly release the legs down. Take the arms out beneath you. Take a moment, press the hands on either side of the mat by the shoulders, and meet me in a table position. So in your table position, this is where you may decide you want a blanket underneath the knees. Get the wrist creases parallel to the top of the mat, hands shoulder width apart. And at first, just establish a neutral spine here. You may even feel a light abdominal engagement. Then allow the tailbone to tilt up and the abdominal muscles to go toward the floor as you draw the shoulders back and draw the ears back in line with the shoulders. So this is called cow pose. We'll be here 1 minute, breath of fire. Eyes are closed, focus on the brow space. Focus on the exhalation with your breath of fire. Forceful exhale, passive inhale. Shoulders keep drawing back. Abs relax, tailbone tilting up. Last 10 seconds. Full breath in. Hold the breath, pull Mula Bandha. Exhale, release. Beautifully done. Now go into cat pose where we tuck and round, arching in toward the center. Press through the hands, press through the shins. Breath of fire will be here 1 minute. It's really important to stay in that arch, to keep pressing actively away from the floor with the hands, with the tops of the feet, like you're trying to bring the forehead toward the navel. Doing great. Last 20 seconds. When we do cat-cow like this, it balances all 7 chakras. So again, we're back to working with that beautiful endocrine system, right? This glandular system really runs the show, in my belief. Full breath in, hold, pull Mula Bandha, exhale, release, find a neutral spine. Beautifully done. From here, we'll make our way onto our back. We'll go into stretch pose, then we have corpse pose. So we're almost at the end of the Kriya part of the practice. If you've never done stretch pose, you can think of it like a low boat, right? The legs are together. We establish the root line of the sacrum. So you really want to feel the sacrum and the low back press flat to the mat. You float the feet up 6 inches, shoulders up, palms face the thighs. We're here for 30 seconds. You also can tuck the hands underneath the glutes and just do the legs and the head until you can get to that place of doing the full body. So pick which one of those you'll be doing. You can also do one leg at a time, right? And again, here we go, 30 seconds. If you're doing the variation, maybe you have the hands underneath the glutes and just the legs are up and the head's up. Doing great. Last 5 seconds. Full breath in, stay in the pose. Pull Mula Bandha. Exhale, release. Just relax on your back. If you need a blanket over the body, because you will definitely cool down, now is the time to locate that. Palms shine up to the sky. Eyes are closed. Breath is in and out through the nose, and it's your natural breath rhythm here. If you find that the mind is active, you could come back to that beautiful mantra, Sat Nam, truth on the inhale, Nam with each exhalation. You can also just focus on the sensation of the heartbeat in the solar plexus, allowing yourself to feel completely alive here. And resting easy in your beautiful life. Again, just like we did before, reach the arms overhead, point the toes, activate the glutes and arch slightly away from the floor here. Then relax and do this 2 more times. So you'll inhale, full body stretch, full breath in, exhale, soften. And again, big, big breath, big, big stretch. And as you exhale, soften, you'll slowly bend the knees, hug them into the chest. From here, as you hug the knees to the chest, rock and roll front to back 5 times, inhaling forward, exhaling back. On the 5th time, make your way up into a comfortable seat for our meditation practice. I know that some of you may not be able to stay for the meditation practice. Just be mindful of finishing your practice with 3 sat nams, long sat, short nam. Although I always hope that you stay for the meditation. Today's meditation is to tranquilize the mind. It takes 3 minutes. And I'm going to get a little bit closer to the camera so that you can see the mudra that goes with this practice. You'll take your hands and bring them together like this right here, right? You'll bring the thumbs together and then the second finger will point out. So when you look down at your hands, you have the flat space of the knuckles and then the second finger pointing out. And this will be in front of the heart, about 4 inches. It's going to be really important that the elbows are not dropped, but instead the elbows will be slightly lower than the shoulders, right? Perfect. So find your mudra. Make sure that you've established your root line here. So you really want to have a solid foundation. The tailbone drops, you feel the core supporting you. You have your mudra, right? Again, it's that second finger is pointing out. The thumbs are touching and it's about 4 inches from the sternum or the center of the chest. You want to be mindful of being really low. So you want to keep the forearms parallel to earth and sky while the shoulders draw down the back of the body. Draw the chin in so the ears are in line with the shoulders. And then take the gaze out to the tip of the nose. This is where we'll be for the next 3 minutes. You can use a mantra here if you would like. I always love to suggest Sat Nam, Sat on the inhale, Nam on the exhale. This particular mudra that we're doing is it's a booty mudra is what it's called. And it's known to focus and relax the mind at the same time. That can kind of seem counterintuitive. But this is putting us into a specific brainwave pattern, a theta brainwave pattern, which allows us to be present and relaxed. Be mindful of the elbows starting to drop. So again, elbows are up and out, forearms are parallel to earth and sky. Gaze is on the tip of the nose. Breath is in through the nose, out through the nose. You're doing great. Stay with it. 50 seconds left. Focus on the breath. Be mindful of the elbows dropping. Take a full breath in. Hold the breath, pull Mula Bandha. As you exhale, release the breath, release the hands down. Just sit in the silence and observe. Keeping the eyes closed, bring the palms together and start to give them a rub. Once again, generating some beautiful heat in between the hands, stimulating that entire nervous system. Bring the thumbs to the center of the chest, allow the elbows to point out to either side. Again, draw the spine in and up. Deep breath in, top of the breath hold. And release. And then just repeat after me. May the longtime sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. We'll finish our time together with Sat Nam 3 times. It's a long Sat and a short Nam. Breath in to begin. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Bring hands from heart to center of the forehead as you allow the eyes to open. And take a bow to that divine light that burns bright in all beings. Satnam, Namaste. May you have the most beautiful, magical day. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself and for humanity, right? Because when you show up for you, all beings everywhere benefit. As we awaken and ascend in our consciousness, that is our unique way of helping the collective. I'm so grateful and thankful for you taking the time and spending your energy this way. If you enjoyed the class, I would love for you to leave something in the comments section. And then don't forget, check out my website. You can also follow me on other social media aspects. There's a couple of other free classes coming up over the next 2 weeks. So be sure to get on my mailing list and check those out. All right. Satnam, Waheguru, be well and have a beautiful day.